Sitting in the yard on an afternoon, Wednesday afternoon. Philippines, Puting Kahoy. I think it's probably about 90 degrees maybe, Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is, Celsius. Probably 35, 36, something like that. I still don't know that, or Tagalog that much either. But here I sit, still trying to adjust to living here. I've only been here 5 months. This is my 5th trip over here. I stayed last time I was here for a year and a half before I had to return to the United States. So I never have quite made it to permanent status or anything yet. One of these days I will. My intention is to stay here now for the rest of my life. So early retirement, whatever you call this life, I don't know for sure. But it's okay. So before I get going too deep into this video, I want to thank everyone for subscribing and liking these videos. And if you're a first time watcher or just came across this channel by accident or something, if you end up liking the content of our videos, please like and subscribe for us. We appreciate your support. It's more or less just a hobby at this point. We're not trying to monetize or have any huge success. It's more of a bonding thing for me and my daughter, actually, which is hard with a 10-year-old who I didn't spend a lot of time with in my lifetime yet. But we're trying to catch up on lost time, so that's good. So I'll come back because I wonder some things I need to get off my chest and talk about. So I'll give people a better idea of who I am, what I'm doing here, why I'm here, and kind of help explain that. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I wanted to take a little bit of time and maybe try to explain a little bit about myself, why I'm here in the Philippines, what I'm doing, what brought me here, and kind of what I plan on being and doing. I don't know. I mean, I'm 75. I almost said I was 75. I'm 59, just about to turn 60, and early retirement. I've been married to my Filipino wife for 20 years. We've been together 21, so we got married a year after we met. And let's see, my first trip to the Philippines was in 2007. I've been here this is my 5th time here in the Philippines. And it's kind of a long story that brought me here, really. I mean, my first trip here in 2007, I fell in love with the Philippines. I love the people here, of course, the weather, and back in 2007, the politics were a lot different than they are now. There was a real sense of freedom here, and my wife, she's from the island of Kapu, which is in northern Samar. So going there and spending time on the island is like a completely different world. I'm from Boise, Idaho, USA, Northwest. Spent most of my life on the West Coast. I've worked as a waiter most of my career, most of my life, in Reno and Las Vegas. And actually, I've lived in every major city on the West Coast. Was kind of a vagabond for a long time. You could always get a job waiting table somewhere, and I just had a wanderlust in me when I was young. That's what originally brought me here, I guess, is because I wanted to experience a different, thing. And I still wasn't satisfied. So I came clear to the other side of the world. That was only possible because of my wife. I would have never dreamed about coming to a foreign country in Southeast Asia. I mean, I realized it was on the map, of course, but I didn't really consider it a place I'd ever go. I didn't know anybody here. Obviously didn't know the language, but So when we met, my my wandering days were kind of over at that point. You know, I got to the point where I'd traveled enough, did enough crazy things that I was ready for something different. And I met Myrna. Myrna was a completely different animal than I'd ever experienced before. And, you know, it was instant love. We've been together for so long now that, you know, we're kind of just together now. I don't know how I would even put that. But I've had my share of ups and downs, inside, outside, upside down. I mean, crazy life, you know, which, you know, I wouldn't want to try to go into all the details of that. I mean, some has been good, some has been bad. Obviously, there's, you know, lots of craziness when you live in Las Vegas. And I was young, full of spunk, had lots of money. Every night I'd have a big old wad full of money, so I'd just spent time living life and enjoying myself. Didn't really give a lot of thought to the future. So when I came here now, I'm on a pretty tight budget. I mean, we don't have a lot of money to spend. You know, we manage fine though because it's possible, especially when you got a wife like my wife, who she'll count every penny. She's very good with our money, and she's 62 now, so she's going to be getting her Social Security payments pretty soon, which, you know, she worked hard for. She was in the United States for 12 years working, and so she'll have Social Security pension. And what else can I say about us? I mean, we have a little girl, 10 years old. She just turned 10. And she just, I mean, I was 49. My wife was about 52. So, yeah, we were already ready, you know, to slow down and not have a kid. We didn't expect that, but she came along and she's a joy. She's a great kid to have around. I love her. Can't believe I'm even a daddy. It's hard to believe. I'm more of a, well, we had a problem with immigration that brought her back here. And then we had a problem with me staying here because I couldn't earn income here. So I had to return to the United States after a year and a half of being here and trying to stay here with visa extensions and very little income. We rented Okai Okai. So that was paying the rent. She was feeding us, but we were unable to get ahead with just that income. So I eventually had to remove myself from the Philippines, go back, and that was a total of 9 years apart. So that was a real struggle. I mean, that was terrible. I ended up homeless in the United States, and just everything. It was just a mess. But finally was able to get out of that situation and get early Social Security. So I'm here now, living on that. Myrna's going to have hers. We're going to we'll be fine after that. We're permanently here now. And I hope I'm not boring everybody too much. My stories, I mean, if I went into total detail of the story, what's in my mind, I remember what I went through and what I've done in my life, I could write a book, I think. I mean, you know, just like anybody, I'm sure. But there's just so much to it, really. But it's complicated. You know, if you marry a Filipino and you want to move to the Philippines and live here as a married person, I mean, it's wonderful. But I mean, there's going to be so many different things that come up that, you know, the language barrier, the customs that they have here are totally different than the United States. And their attitudes about just about everything are different. Sense of humor is different. Their taste in music is different. And although I love the culture and I love the people here, it's not United States. I mean, it's not even similar in any way that I can really put my finger on. You know, there's just so many differences. It's kind of hard to. It's hard to put into words. I mean, I'm not a very good wordsmith, I guess, but best I can do just to let people know who I am is to say that I'm back in the United States. I was young, I was restless, I was reckless. I didn't buy a house. I didn't want to have that kind of commitment in my life. And I kind of just blew off everything. I lived for the moment. I lived every day like it was the last day of my life. And it never was. And the people who really know me deeply and have close, relations with me over the years kind of know who I am and what I'm about. I mean, they would say, "Oh, crazy," but in a good way, I think. I mean, a lot of them look at me that way, I think, but I have friends that I've known since I was in elementary school, all the way back and then junior high and high school. Still kind of have the same relationship we always have had. So that's, small town, Boise, Idaho. When I was young growing up, it was a very small town. 35,000 people, I think, when I was a young child. And it's grown quite a bit now, but I mean, still, Idaho is one of the least populated countries or states in the country. And it was a very simple childhood, very, very pleasant. I mean, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. So this is it for me now. I enjoy it. We get to go, we have the freedom to go, if we want to just pop up and go to the beach, go somewhere, we can take a week or two on the island. No one says, "Where are you?" or "What are you doing?" So, I mean, there's a lot of advantages to living a life like this. Excuse me. I have a bad cough. But there's a lot of disadvantages too. You have to just take the good with the bad. I mean, you can watch all types of videos about the Philippines. Some are going to show you just the beautiful things about it, how wonderful it is. Other ones are going to complain about everything that's hard here. Instead of just taking it, as a balanced thing. It is a balance, just like anywhere. I mean, if you want to live in the northern part of the United States, you're going to have to experience cold winters. That's just the way it is. But you also get the four seasons, and you get beautiful mountains, and you get all the things that go along with it. So it depends on your perspective. You live in the Southwest, which I have lived in the Southwest for a big portion of my life. Lived in Las Vegas, where, whew, you spend 90% of your time in a casino because you work in a casino, but you also spend time in there afterwards, eating, drinking, seeing shows, doing things, whatever, because outside is unbearable in the summer. There's no way. You can be just out in 100-degree temperatures all day long. So there's the downfall on that side too. But I think that's just the way it is. Anywhere you go, you're going to have the ups and downs, I enjoy the fast-paced life of the city here, but I also enjoy the island. I can go to the island and spend a couple of weeks without, sit down in the Cubao by the ocean and just watch the waves come in and just kind of meditate there, I enjoy that too. With a beer, with a cold beer, I haven't had a chance, all my different visits here, I have never had a chance yet to do any fishing, but that's on my agenda. I'm going to have some future time to go fishing. That was one of my biggest hobbies back in Idaho. So I hope I haven't bored you to death. If there's, if you want to leave comments and if you really want to know more about some of the details of why I ended up here as an expat and why a lot of these guys, I'm sure a lot of them have similar stories of the reason why they're here, It's a wonderful place. The women are amazing, They really treat you like gold, and it's not like as an American man you're trying to take advantage of that. It's just the way they like to do it. They like to take care of you, and they like to treat you good, and it's just the way it's in their culture. So it's not to be king or anything else. It actually irritates me when people call me sir. They're like, "Oh, hi, sir," or "Sir John," And I'm just like, "What? No, I'm just a regular asshole from Idaho." I don't have any I'm not a sir. I'm not a ruler of anybody. I don't have any desire to try to have people take care of me, wait on me, or anything, you know. But they do to a certain extent. They'd rather do it for you than to sit and watch you do it for yourself. And I'm talking about getting a cup of coffee. You know, I've managed to get to the point now where, you know, no, you don't need to do all that for me. I'm fine. I can do what I need to do for myself. You know, but I allow it. Allow it. I mean, I don't allow it. I accept it as something that makes them happy to do it. So, great. If that's what makes you happy. I mean, I want you to be happy. I want Myrna to be happy. She's a generally a very happy person, and she's one of the most loved people I've ever met. I mean, no matter where we go in the Philippines, she bumps into somebody that knows her and loves her, and it just blows my mind. You know, that's my wife. I call her the social butterfly. I tease her about it sometimes, but she's just very liked. I don't know. I love her, but I can't see what makes her so much adored by everybody in the world. I swear to God. It's just the way she is, you know. So I'm very happy about that. So hopefully I've, enlightened you guys a little bit about who I am. It's just the scratching the surface of what really, any person has so many different layers of, especially at this age, you've just done so many things, seen so many things, gone so many places. I could tell you stories till you would fall asleep with me telling you stories. So please like and subscribe to our channel. Most of these I'm not going to be just sitting talking to you. That's just one thing I wanted to try to say and do to see if I could kind of, maybe put that perspective on it, But the videos that we're going to be doing is mostly travel, going places, and then more adventure, more adventure, more adventure. That's kind of the idea. So thank you for joining me here today. Please subscribe and ring the notification bell so we can show you future videos that we come up with. And if you have any interesting topics or places you'd like to see, anything like that, just mention it in the comments. We are open to go just about anywhere because we've only scratched the surface about exploring the Philippines. Before, all the times I've been here before, it was either a short trip or the one time I was here for a year and a half, we were on very limited funds, and so we didn't do a lot of traveling. But this time, our whole idea, we're in a position now where all we want to do is just go explore different places in the Philippines. So any place that you might think would be interesting, mention it in the comments, ring the notification bell, subscribe to our channel, and I'd be happy to show you anything. All right, thanks again. Tune in next time.